What up?
Hey,
Hey, fellas.
Back for another.
What's going
What
on?
episode is this?
I don't know what episode it is. It has to be like 6, maybe.
6?
Six.
I think it's 6.
Okay, we run it in there. This was a short stint, a short season.
It was.
You know, sometimes it's like that.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be what,
like
7 in total?
No, it's going to be 8.
It
So
should be 8.
That's
Okay.
actually,
But that's a
we
healthy
plan-
season.
That's
that's what we talked about.
season.
Yeah, so that's actually right. Actually,
Right.
that's actually right. And that's what keeps people interested and so if you guys don't know what we're talking about, welcome, get in here, welcome to the voice chat. We have a quick announcement. We have 2 episodes left. Okay, December 12th will be our finale for this particular season. Okay, and we will keep you with updates following the return. All right, so yes, December 12th will be the finale, or the whatever season finale. All right, so anyway, let's get into your guys' holiday weekend, because I don't even think we wished each other a happy Thanksgiving on the way out last week.
No, we just kind of dipped.
Holiday schmoliday.
So how's everybody doing?
Though. Mine was really cool. I feel like the holidays really isn't the same anymore. I didn't go to my aunt's house like we usually do. My dad just kind of cooked out, so ate with him, stopped by a friend's house, and had a couple drinks that night, and I laid out. But
you look good. You look clean and cut. You look like you got a little cute little outfit. Where you was going?
Thank you.
You Thanksgiving ready.
I did this for y'all.
Oh wow! And it's let me see that little part going too. Let me see.
Just a little something.
Okay.
But it was cool though. It was cool. Watch your mouth.
It was what it was. Like you said, holidays aren't the same. And for me, I noticed nothing for me has been the same. Nothing feels the same to me anymore like it did 4 years ago. Everything's weird. It just, even when I watch things on television or try to entertain myself, it just doesn't feel the same. Everything feels weird and different to me. Holidays are another one. I never really like holidays too much, especially ones like Thanksgiving. My family dynamic is very weird. Luckily, I got what I wanted. And I got my dad, my mom, my 2 brothers, all in the same place, just us. But that's not all of our family. My dad is not the dad of my younger brothers. And, it's this weird family. It's not too weird. I have a stepdad and things like that. So it just, I don't know. They had their little drama with cheating, my mom pulling up to the house and things like that. Just ghetto nonsense that I don't want to be a part of. Seriously. Yeah. But, otherwise, it just was what it was. It was a cute little dinner. It was nice to see my family. I could have seen them any other day. I don't need a Thanksgiving to tell me when to see my family. But it was nice.
Okay.
I feel that.
How about you, Sean?
Well, my Indigenous Peoples Day, since that's what we call it nowadays.
Oh yeah.
It was okay. I spent time with my aunt and my cousins and stuff, which was really cool. So like I usually have issues with the holidays because my dad's family lives out in San Antonio. Then I got my mom's family that also kind of lives out there. Then I got my mom that lives in Killeen, and then I got me, out here. And so it's like a lot of decisions that need to be made around that time. But because I had to work the following day for at least half the day, I went ahead and spent time with my aunt and them. So that was a lot of fun. I mean, nothing really too special. I think that I kind of agree with both of y'all. Like when it comes to the holidays, it's not the same. I don't know if it's because we're adults and we have stuff to do right after the holiday or what, but like the magic is gone. But yeah, so I mean, we hung out and ate and stuff, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't feel the holiday spirit.
Yeah,
I mean, like the magic is gone from a lot of things, even movies.
Yeah.
All they're doing is remaking things. Don't you? I feel like the magic is gone from a lot of things. Yeah. But maybe that's just me.
But do you think it could be because maybe when we were young, maybe we need to create that maybe it's our generation that is not holding the tradition. Maybe maybe we need to have our kids and breed together. I don't know, because I'm like, what happened? I remember on Thanksgiving, like everybody would go to Big Mama's house or Grandma's house or that main house. Then there was like the little kid table where I would be at, and then the adult table, and then we'd all like say grace together. I don't know. I think once the matriarchs in our family, especially my family, once they all passed away, it was kind of like, all right, I'm not doing all that no more. We're just doing our own immediate family. And then it starts getting to the point where for me, it feels like I end up doing shit with my friends. Like, my close friends, like we end up having like a fly ass Thanksgiving or some shit. Like it's then you end up spending like 15, 20 minutes with your mom and dad, then you're like, all right,
I see.
gotta
I see a
go,
lot of
right?
people trying to protect their energy when it comes to going back to see their family. Maybe they don't have the best relationships, or they just don't want to deal with certain people, situations, questions, or whatever. So a lot of people will just go hang with their friends and just be like, not fuck the family, but why not just be with my friends?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, especially, I feel like, especially in our situation, like you can be like, what if you got a man, and then do you bring him home to dad, or you bring him to
Exactly.
the
That's what I'm
family,
saying.
or then like you can
Right.
be your gay self when you're with your friends. You know what I mean? Like, is Thanksgiving truly Thanksgiving when you can't be your true authentic self?
Luckily, I can be my true authentic. I'm this exact
Yeah.
person.
Mhm.
And Thanksgiving, I'm causing problems and controversy and conversation. My mom gets so frustrated.
Yeah.
But, so I do have a great time in that sense. But yeah. How was your holiday, Armand?
Mine was pretty much the same as y'all. I mean, it was
Damn.
cool. I didn't really do much, honestly. You know, like I'm in transition mode, so I'm just at a point where I'm looking around my house like, what the fuck do I have to get rid of? You know what I
It's
mean? But at the
transition
most part,
mode.
like I cooked. I was supposed to go to my dad's house. I got so tired, I didn't end up going there because I'm one of those people that, you know, I like to cook to have food at my house. You know what I mean? Just in case it's gone or I don't like something there. You know what I mean? So I want to come home and have my own food. So we were cooking and doing a bunch of things, and I had one of my friends come over. We ended up getting fucked up, faded to like 5 in the morning. So I didn't even see my mom or my dad on Thanksgiving. But what I did do, the next day, me and my mom, we all went out. My mom, my brothers and sisters, we hung out on Black Friday. And I'm probably gonna go visit my dad a little bit later today. But you know, it just feels like, well, hell, my dad actually told me, he was like, "You got it all figured out, so you probably don't need to come over here because we were cooking so much." And then I had just seen him for my, you know, stepmom's like 60th birthday party. So, you know, when you just see your family, it's like, I just seen y'all last week. I need to divide the time because my mom and my dad, they're separated. So I just seen them. So I was like, all right, well, let me try to go over here, spend some time over there. But nonetheless, it was cool. It was chill. I just wish the magic of Thanksgiving and the holidays were, you know, a little bit more remnants to when I was a child. It's just kind of not.
Like,
and I don't know if it's up to me to create that with
it might be us. It really might be
it's
us.
humanity
I
itself.
feel like, well, yeah, I do. To piggyback off of Miles, I do feel like it has to do with humanity. I mean, we are a less traditional society. So, I mean, yes, we are able to be who we are, but at the same time, the tradition part goes away. So, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that stuff starts to get questioned. Like, even the way that we do things at work in terms of like what we call Christmas, what we call Thanksgiving, we have to call them holidays. We have to call them indigenous peoples like holidays. I think that just has to do with our evolution, like how we're evolving.
Yes, good point. Yes, we're done with all the other stuff. I don't know. We're done with certain things, and we're trying to hold on to old ways of being. But does it feel
like we're getting done with family too? It feels like I feel like with that, it's like we're getting done with the sense of family. It's almost like
I think
your friends become your family.
We're learning sovereignty. We're learning that it's all right to put yourself first. And if your energy is not fully up to it, you don't have to stay the full 5 hours. You can just stay a couple hours and go home. Or you, like you said, you see your dad one day, Thanksgiving, you're chilling with your friends, and the next day you see your mom and sister. It doesn't have to be on the day that society tells you, well, this is the day you spend with your family no matter what, because it's Thanksgiving. You don't have to do that. You're learning. I feel like we're all learning that we can put ourselves first a little more.
Well, today's show is going to be an interesting show. We got a lot. Well, we kind of got a lot to talk about, but we're going to talk about if transgenders should be a part of the LGBTQ, or should it just be the LGBTQ?
LGB. Oh yeah, Q
with no T. We're also going to talk about some things that gay men should discuss with their health care providers. And not in depth because I'm no doctor, okay? But I got really, really triggered this morning because we got the sad news that Virgil Abloh has passed away from a rare form of cancer. He was the artistic director for Louis Vuitton and Off-White, and he died of cancer at 41. And this has really been fucking with me because I just feel like so many Black men are dying at 30, between the ages of 38 and 40. You know what I mean? From prostate cancer, or, you know, colon cancer, or some sort of cancer. I mean, there was even a YouTuber that, like, he's very young and just tested positive for testosterone. How you say it? Sean? Help me out.
Testosterone or what?
Testicular cancer. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
it's one of those things where us as men, we have to go get tested. And if you don't have insurance, guys, like figure out a way to get it, because
there's still resources.
Yes, that can't, like, a lot of times we think about it's only HIV and STDs when, you know, we're not immune to getting cancers and diabetes and other things too. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
you know, I think we should definitely, you know, take in consideration of, you know, our health and focus in on that. But anyway, I just want to read this. So Louis Vuitton artistic director and Off-White founder Virgil Abloh died today of cancer, according to a tweet by Luxury Group. He was LVMH, Louis Vuitton, and Off-White are devastated to announce the passing of Virgil Abloh on Sunday, November 28th, of cancer, which he had been battling privately for several years. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty sad.
Yes, unfortunate.
So with that being said, I kind of wanted, there was this article here that I found, and you guys can feel free to chime in at any point and discuss one of these topics if you guys would like. But this is called 10 things that gay men should discuss with their healthcare providers. Number one is come out to your healthcare provider. In order to provide you with the best care possible, your clinician should know you are gay. It should promote him/her to ask specific questions about you and offer appropriate testing. If your provider does not seem comfortable with you as a gay man, find another provider. Has that been an issue for you? Does your providers all know that you're gay and you're open about it? Are you open with your providers and everything that you do?
I'm open.
Yeah. I'm open with my provider. Yeah, I mean, that's your medical provider. So technically the information that they share should be private. And you want to get the best healthcare. So in order for them to give you the best healthcare, they need to know your personal business. So yes, I do.
So even if you feel like, girl, like things that you couldn't tell anybody else, you feel like, you know what, I'm about to give them, like things that you may have kind of halfway told the story to maybe one of your peers.
If it's necessary.
You will tell them the full detail.
Yes, if it's necessary, definitely. Yes. I mean, absolutely. That's your healthcare provider.
No, I agree. Yeah. I'm saying that we all should. I've been here before. Like, girl, I've had to tell them. I'm sure sometimes I feel like, bitch, how do they go home looking at me? You know what I mean? Like, have you ever felt embarrassed? Like, bitch, they just got all my teeth.
Okay.
I feel like they got past it by now.
I feel like when I used to go in to get tested, I used to feel like that kind of, because it would be like black women, so like helping me out and stuff. So I would kind of feel a little way.
Oh, right. Like touch the infected.
Yeah.
Get your blood.
But other than that, not these days. No.
Okay, now what did you think? Now let me ask you a question. Now, do you prefer a male or female doctor?
I need a male.
I like men. I prefer a black male too. That's hard to find.
A male doctor.
I need a white man. I'm a white man.
To me, it depends. But I think it doesn't matter to me, really. Yeah.
Really, I feel like men know my body.
I guess male.
Yeah, I want a man.
Yeah, men know other men, so I need a liberal male doctor. Mm-hmm. I don't care what color. A liberal male doctor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's keep it pushing. HIV and AIDS, safe sex. Many men who have sex with men are at an increased risk of HIV infection, but the effectiveness of safe sex in reducing the rate of HIV infection is one of the gay community's great success story. If you are HIV positive, you need to be in care with a good HIV provider. Safe sex is proven to reduce the risk of receiving or transmitting HIV. You should also discuss and be aware of what to do in the event that you are exposed to HIV. Contacting your provider immediately following an exposure to explore your options. If you are in a relationship where one of you is positive, you should discuss options for prevention with your provider as well. One thing I want to say too, because I have a friend who's HIV positive, and they're telling me that now they're going to start being able to take an immunization shot or whatever it's like a shot that you. Yeah, like it's a once a month shot. So they're really getting the virus under control.
That's really compact.
Yeah.
So they don't have to take the pill anymore. So they just take this shot once a month, and it's like a vaccine, but it's not.
Are any of y'all on PrEP?
I'm on PrEP.
I'm not on PrEP.
I used to be. I had horrible side effects to it. Yeah,
me too. Do you have the diarrhea? Were you shitting a lot?
What kind did y'all have?
I had that, and I
I'm on the
also
small
had
one.
the mood swings, honey.
I got
like,
Discovery,
the mood swings weren't it.
The little tiny one.
Yeah, Discovery.
I had the one of the first trials of PrEP.
Oh yeah, those were bad though.
I had that one.
It was bad for your liver.
I had that one too, but only for a couple, like maybe 6 months.
The problem with PrEP for me though is there's two things. The problem for PrEP for me is number one, it fucks up when you try to get like life insurance policies. You know, they put you in this high risk group because you're on PrEP. Because when I was doing it, like my dad tried to get a policy on me or some shit, and he was like, they denied you because they said you're a part of a high risk group because you're on that PrEP. So I couldn't even get the fucking life insurance. Now I don't know if it's changed, but yeah. So that was one. But then the other part is I feel like PrEP has allowed men to be so careless with sex now because they think, well, if I can't get HIV, that I fuck anything raw. And so a lot of men now don't care about, you know, the syphilis, the chlamydia, the gonorrhea. They're like, I can get a shot for that, but I'm going in that butt raw. Or I'm letting him fuck me raw.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I feel like
a lot of
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I feel like it's true.
Yeah.
As far as for me, and when I was on PrEP, baby, I had the diarrhea and I had the mood swings. So I felt one way 1 minute and one way the next.
Yeah.
Yes,
I didn't have the mood swings.
Yep.
I started to understand. No, really, like it's a weird thing, and the way that I explained it to my mom, and my mom was actually the one that was like, maybe you need to come off that. It was just like, I've never felt like this. I was like, I feel depressed. Like I feel, and then she was like, whoa. And I'm like, yo, okay, maybe it was the PrEP. Like, so I had to currently,
after I started taking it, I think my weight fluctuated a little bit. I started getting really moody. I started my anxiety shot through the roof. I started like overthinking so much, and my mood swings were crazy. Like it would be the smallest thing that would just like tick me off. And I knew it was the PrEP because it was a certain amount of time where I just stopped taking it for like a month because whatever. Yeah. And I just felt normal. And then I got back on it. My mood swings started back up and everything started again. But overall though, I want to say it is like it's a really good pill. Like other than that, I mean, I feel like over time you learn how to control everything.
Me personally,
but doesn't it have like heavy side effects on your liver?
Not really Discovery though, but also I get tested. If you're on PrEP, you're gonna get tested every 3 months. So they test your creatine levels. They test all of that. They test all of it.
Right. So if there is a problem with that in that time period,
they test your liver, your kidneys. They test all of that.
So how long have you been on PrEP?
I've been on PrEP for about a year and a half now.
Oh wow! So you do you feel like that lessens your anxiety, like being on PrEP? Because you're like, you know what? At least I know.
Yes. It gives me like a peace of mind because if you all really don't know, 50% of Black gay men will contract HIV in their lifetime. Wow. So it's a huge peace of mind just knowing that I am slightly protected. It's 99.8 or something, but I'm still not out here being loose, but it gives me a great peace of mind. Granted, it doesn't protect from all the other ones, but those can be fixed. Most of the other ones, but it gives me a great peace of mind.
Yes, me as well, because my mom raised me thinking like I feel like society told me I was going to die as soon as I have sex. Like every time I have sex, I'm thinking about death. What the hell?
Yes,
so the pill does help me. And I've actually had a period in time when I was off the pill. So it's not like I just continuously took it and maybe never noticed the side effects, but I had a period of time where I stopped taking it just because I wasn't having sex like that. I mean, I'm still not, but you never know. Dude, I might get the phone call or something and I gotta go fuck somebody.
Well, I started taking the medication.
Well, right, you should be on it because you're an OnlyFans.
Right, exactly.
I mean, wondering, like, do those OnlyFans girls, because all them fuck each other.
Oh no.
So I'm like, girl, and it's all raw.
Most of them say they are.
They're getting tested.
But a lot of those girls are undetectable. So undetectable is like the new negative.
That's true.
As long as you're taking your medicine.
Yeah, see, I started taking that medication. I actually was dating somebody that was undetectable. So I took the medication as a second layer. I was on it for about 8 months. I mean, the experience as far as the moods, like I definitely would not trade those back for that, but it did give me an extra, like I felt more protected with, you know, what I was doing, where I was going, and all those different things. Like there is that extra protection with the prep.
Yes.
And see, right now I'm not on prep, but I feel like I've been in like a relationship for like the last 4 years, so I've been only fucking the same person,
right?
You know what I mean? So, but you know, I mean, still though, like you could,
I say even in my relationships,
that mental piece.
Well, my past one, I was still on prep.
But I think we have these conversations where it's like we get tested annually together all the time. Like I don't know, I mean, but you still can't call it. But I mean, when you're in a relationship, I feel like there's when you can have that conversation and you guys instill those certain values in each other, like, bro, this is important. You know what I'm saying? Then I think that kind of holds some weight. And I feel like, you know, if you don't, because I really don't want to I don't like to take a lot of pills. I really don't.
Honestly.
And I'm the type of,
I'd rather not.
Yes. And then my thing is with the prep, you got to take it every single day.
My vitamins. I love that.
Yeah, the vitamins are good, but like just like the prep, you got to take every day. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and the one day you fuck up could be the one day that you fuck up.
But not necessarily though.
So I mean, it stays in your system.
Say if you're taking it on routine, and say you can go up to about a week without taking it, as long as it's in your system.
Okay.
I think it's 5 to 7 days. You know, 5 to 7 days, and it still be in your system.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as you're taking it consistently, and it works even better. If you're taking it at the same time every day and things like that, but you should be good. You can forget a day, definitely. If it's too late, yeah, you can. I forget sometimes. Okay.
I heard the percentages go down like each day or something. Like each day it goes down a little more.
It should be the same as somebody that's undetectable. Like it should be similar to that. Like just because they miss a pill doesn't mean that they're automatically, you know, contractable in a sense. But you know,
because somebody who's undetectable can miss a day too.
Yeah, they can miss like a week, and then it'll start to show after a while.
Interesting. Okay, so that was that on there.
All right. Yeah.
I feel like if I tell my man, he gonna be like, "Why we need to do that? What you doing?" All right, hepatitis immunization and screening. Men who have sex with men are at an increased risk of sexual transmitted infection with the viruses that cause the serious condition of the liver known as hepatitis. These infections can be potentially fatal and can lead to very serious long-term issues such as liver failure and liver cancer. Immunizations are available to prevent 2 of the 3 most serious viruses. Universal immunizations for hepatitis A versus virus and hepatitis B virus is recommended for all men who have sex with men. Safe sex is effective at reducing the risk of viral hepatitis and is currently the only means of prevention for the very serious hepatitis C virus. If you have hepatitis C, there are new, more effective treatments for that infection. I don't really know nothing about hepatitis, child. I ain't had it.
I had to get that before he went to college.
When I think about, I think it was hepatitis C. I think about Pamela Anderson because she was the one that got that.
Ain't that when you eating booty or something? You did get that from her?
Yeah, I got that vaccine before I went to college, though. I really don't know what it was.
I mean, I don't think you can get something for hepatitis C. I think it's just like, I think that's the
like
one.
dirty, like being like around
feces.
a lot of because I got it before I went to college, and I was like in dorm rooms, like the vaccine shit. So I guess it's from like nasty
being around filth.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Don't get me the line. I really don't.
Not substance use. Fitness.
Okay.
And exercise.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on.
Fitness.
Okay. Fitness, diet, and exercise. Problems with body image are more common among gay men, and gay men are much more likely to experience an eating disorder, such as bulimia or anorexia. While regular exercise is very good for your health, too much of a good thing can be harmful. The use of substances such as anabolic steroids and the certain supplements can be dangerous. Obesity also affects many gay men and can lead a number of health problems, including diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. Child, what y'all think about that? I didn't know any of this.
I mean, I knew a lot of that stuff. You know, we got to stay healthy.
I think you should always live a healthy lifestyle, no matter the age.
The body
I think
dysmorphia is real.
as of recently, like I even feel like sometimes I've kind of went through. Y'all know I'm very, very slim, so it's a lot of times where I feel like I'm not. It may sound crazy. It may sound crazy, but yeah, sometimes I feel fucking huge. Sometimes I feel like it's real. So I think now I've just tried to maintain a healthy lifestyle and try to not compare myself to other people that I do see online or anything else.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
Definitely real.
I mean,
I didn't know that gay men. I didn't know that gay men. We had a higher problem with image with our bodies than others.
What?
Well, I feel like we did, but I feel like women always had problems with that too. But I could see
they do as well.
I could see that, but I mean,
the group of men. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah,
I could see that definitely, but also like our metabolisms begin to slow down as we get older. So like the metabolism slows down at, well, I believe it's like 18 to 21, then again at 25, then at like 35, 40. So, the self-consciousness, especially, I don't know if you guys have ever heard that joke, but whenever gay dudes turn 30, it's like a death. Cause it's like, you're not going to be cute no more. You're not, like, it's like all your shit starts to fall out. You start to
white
start
gaze.
looking a mess.
That's from white gaze.
Yeah, I've never heard that one, Chow.
You've never heard that? They have memes.
Not
about
30.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, they have memes about that at 30. It's like, oh my gosh.
I don't think that, but I've heard it before.
I think that's an old way of thinking, Chow, because 30 is the new everything. Now 35 is where you start getting nervous. Because that's when you really become the daddy, girl.
See, I'll be trying to be on a woman's timeline. It's not the same.
It's really, but then when I look at it, it's like the older men are getting all the niggas.
Exactly.
Now,
the 40-year-olds, and they're so it's like,
what am I gonna do with a little boy?
Yeah,
that's from my perspective as a younger. I just feel like normalize age gap dating and gay relationships.
Right. Okay, let's keep it pushing. Substance use and alcohol. Gay men use substances at a higher rate than the general population. So, bitch, we just getting higher than everybody, bitch.
Because they be out partying over
because
the
of trauma.
I mean,
there's other shit like trauma and shit though. That
and it could be that, yes, deeper trauma.
Here we go.
You know what I'm saying?
And not just in hold on. Let me finish. Yes,
Poppers.
And not just in larger cities. These include a number of substances ranging from y'all gonna help me with this. Poppers, marijuana, ecstasy, and what is that? I can't see.
Amphetamines.
Yes. Ooh. Is that meth? Yes. Yeah. The long-term effects of many of these substances are unknown. However, current wisdom suggests potentially serious consequences as we age. If your drug use is interfering with work, school, or relationships, your health provider can connect you to help. And let me tell you something, bitch. I use poppers, girl. I've
tried it too.
Bitch, I've been a popper
as well.
I've tried them,
but I've also
I like poppers.
I like them for
the
scene. I like them for the scene, but I've also encountered somebody that was addicted to them in a sense, and so I can see how that's like you got stuff running out your nose, like every 5 seconds you popping it up, and I'm just like, yo, like where are you at? What's going on? So I can see how. I can see how that would be addicting, but I mean, it's fun here and there.
Girl, poppers is everything for the session.
I tried it one time. I just tried it. I ain't tried doing sex.
It makes everything go into center.
Yeah,
it's like the present moment is right here.
It takes you.
That's true. It does.
Let me put it on
prep. I'm already doing weed. I can drink when I want to. Like I don't need it anymore. I'm good.
Yeah, Mouse, you are very natural. So
I try.
I'm trying to be more like that too.
As best you can in this world.
Here's one for me. This is me right here. Anxiety, bitch. I got anxiety disorder, bitch, and it tears. That's why I'm finna get up out this house today. That Virgil shit sent me through it. Like I'm like, girl, like, bitch, am I next? Like, and literally because I'm like, god damn. But girl, you just be so nervous because the shit just comes on you. And you just start thinking, bitch, well, I was doing poppers and I was smoking at one point. Bitch, I used to do ecstasy. Bitch, I did some coke too, girl. Like, is all this catching up? Just
take care of yourself. Make sure you go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Routine checkups. You know what I'm saying? take your vitamins, your herbs.
He's not in pain now, hopefully.
Depression and anxiety appear to affect gay men at a higher rate than in the general population. The likelihood of depression or anxiety may be greater, and the problem may be more severe for those men who remain in the closet or who do not have adequate social supports. Adolescents and young adults may be at particularly high risk of suicide because of these concerns. Culturally sensitive mental health services targeted specifically at gay men may be more effective in the prevention, early detection and treatment of these conditions. So basically, I'm hearing that, girl, we need to go to gay friendly people to speak to, or gay based people to talk to about your issues.
Yeah, because they know they're more informed about what we do.
I also feel like, to piggyback off of
I would
what
love to have a gay
was
doctor.
saying, to piggyback off
or a
of
gay
what
therapist
was saying, like there is a lot of trauma that we suffer as gay people, and I feel like that is a part of it, and then also the depression, anxiety from being left, because a lot of us lose our family whenever we
just
come
have
out.
different problems than heteros,
And so, like, as a result, sometimes we do find we find our family and other gay people that maybe not doing the right things, and then that's where the drugs and stuff come in. I mean, it's a cycle that's been around for a while.
It's always a reason.
Yeah, and I feel like if we can find a gay friendly person or a gay friendly therapist or a gay therapist, that would definitely help us to work out a lot of those issues that drug use is like suppressing.
Do you have gay clients? Do you feel like some of your kids are gay?
Of course, yeah. A lot of the way that we operate in our facility is they will give me kids and give like all of us kids that are more so geared towards like what we feel like our personality types are, the things that we maybe like we're specializing in. Yeah. So I normally get the kids that are LGBTQ plus. Like I have a couple of kids that are trans. I have kids that are, of different sexualities and things like that. So yeah, of course.
So are you out at work, or do they know?
Yeah, they know that. They know that about me. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't think, like, I don't think that's anything that I need to hide. I feel like that's important for me to be a representation of what it is that I'm helping these kids to become, which is themselves. I don't think that would be effective for me to hide it like that.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah.
Okay. We all know STDs. I don't think we have to go through that one.
Get tested, y'all.
Yes, I mean, we know sexually transmitted diseases occur in sexually active gay men at a high rate. These include STD infections for which effective treatment is available: syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, pubic lice, and others. Hepatitis, HIV, herpes, everything. But this is not just a gay thing. That one. This is everybody.
Everybody.
Because actually, one of my friends, I tell you that he's gay, but he's became HIV positive from a woman. So a woman gave him HIV. That was the whole gag.
Wow. From the vagina?
Yes.
Wow.
So yeah, that was the wear out. So imagine fucking men your whole time, then you decide to go fuck fish and she give you HIV.
Mama, it's crazy because people think that
that's the shade. That was the shade.
Look what you did,
the shade. So that fucked him up. You know what I mean? Because you grow up in the church and they tell you that, these men, and then you go and try to do this thing and you want to go have a baby and you want to go fuck a woman and she burns you.
These ladies need to be on PrEP too.
But that's just being like uneducated though, just as a whole, thinking that you just can't get, a certain STD or something from just because she's a girl. Come on now. That's just
that's how they paint the picture.
Yeah. Come on.
So yeah, that's a lot of tea. Somebody said, was that woman a man? Did the woman get HIV from a man? I'm sure she did. And then somebody said, they said it comes from y'all. Well, that woman, but it just depends because that woman getting it from a man clearly.
Well, it's here now, girl.
Yeah, and she gave it out. That's right. Whether she got it from a man. What the fuck does that mean?
How many years is it? 40? I don't know. It's here.
No, but if she even got it from a man, what's the point? There's women. Magic Johnson got it from a bitch who got it from a man. Easy E got it from a bitch who got it from a nigga. Like, I mean, what are we talking about?
Maybe she's trying to say women can't penetrate.
Well, no, I think that it's so stereotypical of people to assume that HIV is a gay man's disease. Like,
and women can give it to each other.
Women can give it to each other. You know, the things that y'all do, you know, it still can be contracted. It's the same thing for everybody. And I feel like, you know, since the very beginning, when HIV started coming out and people started dying, like even in the early 1990s, the 80s and stuff, they attribute that to being a gay man's disease. And it's like, no, other people get it too. And a lot of times people will get it from drug use also.
One of my friends, and let's be very clear here. And so when they say they get it from men, one of my friends that I knew, her dad died from AIDS, right? But her dad died from AIDS in the 80s from heroin in New York.
Wow.
So that man, that very man, could have been doing heroin and go and fuck his wife and give her AIDS. So you don't have to be gay fucking a man on the low to go in and fuck a woman and give him AIDS. Drug needles, tattoos, that shit you can catch AIDS from. But people love to put that on. Oh, she must have fucked the DL man and he gave it to her. Nah, bitch, the nigga could have been shooting up as well.
I mean, and that's acceptable for a lot of
people. You could use a dirty tattoo. You could dirty needle when you get the tattoo.
Until they find themselves in that situation. Like when you find yourself in a situation contracting that, you won't want people to be thinking that your man was out doing something that they weren't supposed to do. You know, I feel like a lot of times people will go with the stereotype until it's them, you know, and people assume that of them.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so let's move here. Prostate, testicular, and colon cancer. Gay men may be at risk for death by prostate, testicular, or colon cancer. Screening for these cancers occur at different times across the life, and access to screening services may be harder for gay men because of not getting culturally sensitive care. All gay men should undergo these screenings routinely as recommended for the general population. Absolutely. Bitch, I get my testicles, I get my little thing examined, girl. I've gotten a colonoscopy before. Is that where they check the prostate and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, I've gotten that before too. So, girl, you got to get that done because, especially like, and it's starting at a younger age. The girls are getting it in their 30s. And the girls are getting it in the testicular cancer. Yeah, I feel like if you get the nut cut off, if you catch it in time, you can get the ball chopped off. But you know what I'm saying? You get it chopped off, but you can still have the other one. There was a guy. Let me see if I can pull up his YouTube channel. I think I showed you. He had it. Yeah, let me show you. I'm gonna show you him right now because he did a whole video on it, and he had to get his ball cut off. And this is what fucked me up because this kind of, you know, I'm very much a hypochondriac and paranoid. And when I seen this man, I'm like, he is cute and everything, girl, and his shit, and he got it. Like, girl, look, you wouldn't expect. And he said he didn't know, he didn't feel nothing. Him right here.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, let's see if you can hear him. You can't. Is he not talking? Oh, hold on. I'm just hold on. Let me see. Share. Oh, stop. Let me share the screen. Oh God, hold on, y'all. 1 second. I come in. I'm just trying to get the sound. Okay, hold on. Real quick.
Done by a top freelancer on Fiverr is simply.
I go through great lengths in order to take care of myself, take care of my body, make the correct decisions. And I think a degree of that is because I want to try to control everything in my space, because I know to a degree, if you control the things in your space, that it increases the likelihood of success. However, there's lightning strikes that can happen within your life. They're unexpected.
This was September 25th.
And there's no amount of control that you can exert over that. You have to receive the information and take the next steps forward.
But I'm trying to find where he
It's
said.
weird. I just got this diagnosis and they said, no, we gotta. I said tomorrow.
Oh, hold on. Here we go. Okay, hold on.
Take the information and go forward. So, Surgery is scheduled tomorrow.
Wow.
They gotta cut his balls off.
And it still feels weird even communicating that. Like, still weird. I just got this diagnosis, and they said, no, we gotta. I said, tomorrow. They said, yeah, tomorrow. I said, wait, hold up. Let me think about this real quick. No, we gotta come out. Apparently, the mantra in these situations is cut first, ask questions later. One of my other initial questions after, because I was in a fog, like I said, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, to a degree, I had been kind of laughing and joking regarding having my right nut removed right before I went into the hospital. But one of the questions that I ask is how much different is my life going to be into the future? If I still have the opportunity to have kids, and my understanding is that I will be.
So yeah, you guys can watch this video. I don't want him to copyright me, but so he got his nut, he's got it cut off. He's okay now. He did a follow-up video. It didn't spread. I don't think it spread, but he got it chopped up, he got it cut off. But yeah, but he didn't even know. He was joking, like it wasn't any pain. It was just like a little lump, and then so he went and got an ultrasound. But it wasn't hurting or nothing. He got an ultrasound. They said, oh, this is cancer. So it doesn't cause any pain. It's just something that's there. So check yourselves daily, boys. And you know, if anything, go get the ultrasound and try to stop it. Okay.
Go on ahead and grab them and cough. You know, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's July. You look like you wore out, but you look, oh
yeah, I was squirming. That shit makes me so weak. I can't. Yeah.
Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't talk about this enough. We don't talk about this, and this is shit that really happens. So I think it's very important. I'm glad that we're talking about this today. Yes. Tobacco. Gay men use tobacco at a much higher rate than straight men.
That's
really stress. We're just the straight men. Wow.
Clubs.
Reaching nearly 50% in several studies. Tobacco-related health problems include lung disease and lung cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, and a whole host of serious problems. All gay men should be screened for and offered culturally sensitive prevention and cessation programs for tobacco use. I had no idea of that. Do you feel like we use tobacco more than straight men?
I feel like so many people use it. I'm like, what?
Yes.
I don't know about more than straight men, but there's definitely a lot of smoking in the clubs. You know,
if you go to the straight club and then you see it put a gay club beside it, you're going to see more smoke rising from the gay club.
Oh my God, you're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Out.
Yes. The smoking area in the gay club is
we're outside smoking, baby.
Exactly. The smoking area is always
spilling the tea and
the party is in the
that used to be
area.
me spilling the tea and smoking at the same time.
Okay, here's the last one, and we're gonna move on. HPV, the virus that causes warts and can lead to anal cancer. Of all the sexually transmitted infections gay men are at risk for, human papilloma virus, HVP, or I don't know.
HPV.
They got it HVP, but it's probably wrong. Which cause anal and genital warts is often thought to be a little more than an unsightly inconvenience. However, these infections may play a role in the increased rates of anal cancers in gay men. Some health professionals now recommend routine screening with anal pap smears, similar to the test done for women to detect early cancers. Safe sex should be emphasized. Treatments for HPV do exist, but reoccurrences of warts are very common, and the rate at which the infection can be spread between partners is very high. So girls, it's time to get your paps. The girls need to get their paps.
Get them clamps. Get them clamps. Oh man, I don't know about that.
Wow,
that's a lot of tea.
Very informative, though.
Yes, so I just want to kind of give you guys that, you know, because it's, you know, I think that the show is we should inform one another, and you know, this is the place where you get some information. So, child, look into that, and yeah. So, all right, Miles, you take it away with the next topic, because I done spent 45 minutes.
Oh yes. So over the summer, a thought just dawned in my brain, and I was wondering, what if we took the T away from LGB? And I kind of wondered this because I'm like, everyone's saying, it's not a sexuality, it's a gender thing, the T part. So I did some research and I came up on something, and they're actually, of course, nothing's new under the sun, right? So I came up on this, and the LGBT Alliance is the whole thing. It's a British advocacy group founded not long ago in 2019, and recently qualifies for charitable status, meaning, now they're a charity. So it's a real thing. And I also look on Twitter. Well, the LGBT Alliance has their own set of beliefs. They personally believe trans women are not real women, and it's seen as transphobic by, a lot of people. But they do have some valid points. But they also feel like trans women they call them like non-women, or they call them like non-women. We'll just say that. So anyways, that's one thing. That's the LGB Alliance, which is a real thing. But then I see trans women on their own in certain spaces on Twitter, like literal spaces, saying how should the T be a part of the LGB? Because in general, whether you believe in what the LGB Alliance says to be true exactly or not, it's not a sexuality, it's a gender thing. So is the LGB being colonized by the T? Is the T hopping onto the LGB wave to strengthen themselves? Is it the same thing?
I think the only way, I'm sorry, Michael, I'm sorry. I think the only way that that could get as passable is if you kind of look at it as if trans women and trans men, people of the trans experience in general, most of them consider themselves as the gender that they identify as. And if you're a trans woman and you date a man, most trans women consider themselves women who date heterosexual men. So being that they consider themselves a straight woman, I can kind of see that being the reason to take it out, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they feel like there's an erasure of lesbians going on because of what you just said, and how, if you like women and you transition to a woman, now you're, what they call it is a male lesbian.
I think they should be taken out.
Yeah, I think so too.
I feel like
because many trans
like
people feel like they're not gay men.
Right. I do feel like they should be taken out, just simply because as far as being transgender, they go through a different path when it comes to becoming who they are. And I feel like when it comes to gay people, when it comes to lesbians, they go through their own path. And I feel like, whenever we came up with the LGBTQ plus way to identify people that are other, I feel like in a sense, heterosexuals put all the freaks in a box. Like they put us all in one box, and they said everybody else that, isn't normal or regular, here y'all go right here. But I feel like when it comes to transgender, there are some transgender people that actually identify as other things outside of being transgender, and they go through their own process outside of what we would call gay or lesbian. So I do feel like they should separate that.
At the same time, though, Sean, everyone in the community goes through something different. Lesbians, the gays, bisexuals, the trans. So, I mean, I personally don't think that should be taken out because it's just another sector. It's literally another sector.
But Jalon, the difference would be that it's a gender identity and not a sexuality. And how much do they preach that? All the time.
Not much. I definitely feel that, but and I was kind of leaning more towards you before Sean said what he said, and now I'm kind of thinking it's like,
well, what do you want me to say again? What do you want me to go over again?
No, not necessarily. I just think that I think they should stay. They go through their own different experience, just like us as gay men.
It's not like we're kicking them out. They would have their own thing, and because it is a separate issue.
I understand.
In a way.
Because say it one more time, Sean. I mean, Miles. It's an identity versus what?
Gender versus sexuality.
Yes, gender versus
Yes.
sexuality. So
Trans
yeah,
is
so that
gender.
trans is a gender, you know, in the gay and lesbian, that's a sexuality.
Right.
But I
So-
think they did it all come to. I think they all put us together because we have similar hardships.
But
Well, we all like
transgenders don't
this, so
identify
we all go
as
together.
gay.
but the similarity is the fact that we are not heterosexual. That is
Right.
the similarity.
Exactly.
That's why I was saying. That's why I'm
Exactly.
saying it's like putting the freaks in a box. I mean, of course, I'm saying it in a very blunt way, but
That's so
that's
true,
what
though.
it is. Whereas with the transgender experience, they go through a different experience. Now, granted, we all go through an experience, but their transformation against other transgender people is going to be similar as compared to people that are gay or lesbian. Like they go through a different experience.
And
I feel like,
transgender people don't identify as gay.
Yes.
yeah. And
Some
I
of
feel
them.
like to give
Some of them.
people the most control over their personal sexuality, how they identify themselves gender wise, if we separate it, it'll make it a lot easier, because I have witnessed people that will sit and try to explain to people like I'm trans, but I'm also this and I'm also that. And it kind of saves that conversation by allowing them the ability to choose within their individual boxes.
But then
But
what about the
also,
trans
guys, I'm
women
sorry,
that like
also-
lesbians?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
Also,
So are they
because they're
gay?
trans, yes, they are. They can. I know of a few.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the
Yeah.
trans men that like women.
Yeah, they're gay.
Well, they can call themselves gay.
It depends on
can
what
call
they
themselves whatever,
identify
right?
themselves as. We aren't the ones that are supposed to be telling people what they identify as. And I think that when you separate it, it allows that person to identify themselves, as opposed to us being comfortable by making the less amount of boxes for us to be able to identify people as. And so
I
when we
actually
separate, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. I actually hear a lot of lesbians aren't into trans.
Oh, you'd be surprised. I heard the opposite.
I hear they're not into penises. You know, but like it's a lot
I've
of
heard-
you know, like I wouldn't.
You would be surprised.
Okay.
How many trans
Yeah.
are with trans men? But see, at that
Or how
point,
much hetero
Lesbians
women
feel like they're
do.
being erased.
but at the same time, I feel like at that point, then it becomes a sexuality. So they still would be separated. You still take the trans out. You just
Yes.
now become one. You're still trans. So if you're a trans man or trans woman and you're dating cis woman or another man, like now you become gay.
Definitely.
But the trans doesn't still stay. Now it's about your sexuality instead of your gender. Those are two separate things. So I
Yes.
think that you could still be transgender outside of the LGBTQ thing, but then be in the LGBTQ.
But either way, though, aren't they still queer? So technically, aren't they still?
But
Well,
see,
no,
the
no.
way that you're defining it is
Different
exactly
issues.
how somebody from a
Heterosexual-
heterosexual culture would say to us. That's
Yes.
the point of us separating it, because
Yes.
queer is everything that's not normal. Queer
Yes.
is abnormal. You know, so when
But
we
if-
give our
So
go
when
ahead.
they put us, in this box outside of being non-heterosexual, why would you want to kick out a sector of the people that's already
It's more of
being-
embracing them.
But
It's
they
not
don't identify as
out.
it's not kicking them out. That's actually giving them their freedom, saying that you are normal, you are they don't identify
Instead
as
of
gay.
tagging along, they can just do their own thing.
They can be themselves. They're not identifying as gay. I don't know a lot of transgender people
but
that
they're-
identify as gay.
But you just can't
It
put.
feels
you can't
wrong.
really-
I understand. I understand
it
it
is.
feels
I
wrong.
feel like
We're
it
not kicking them
feels
out in the
wrong.
cold.
I feel like it feels wrong because we're
I
not
feel like y'all
used
just kick
to
them
it.
outside. Legit
And
in
I
the
feel like
cold.
when it comes to transgenders, they go through their own process, they go through their own amount of stigma, their own amount of struggle, and in order to respect that, we should allow that space for that. Whereas
it's just
people
like
that are,
we do. So what makes?
but
Okay,
it's not
y'all
the
already
Issues
said
same.
are
what makes them
different
different.
It's
because
not
they're
the
taking
same.
puberty blockers,
Yeah,
they're doing
y'all
hormones,
said
they're
that.
doing
You said
sex
that.
changes, having all these psychological things going on, which is their path to do. I'm not saying anything about it. That's just their path. It's just completely different.
So if y'all,
And
so if y'all are going to take them out of this, okay. So say if y'all take the T out, are y'all just going to consider them? Are they just women? Are they just men? Is that what we're just doing now?
They're still trans.
No. What?
No,
They're
they're still
trans women.
transgendered
They're
women for
trans
sure.
women,
They're
yeah.
just, we don't call it LGBT.
But I wouldn't call them gay
Yeah, they're not
or straight.
gay,
Like it's up to them
they
to decide
identify
what
that.
it's up to them to decide if they're gay or straight. LGBTQ,
Right.
that's about your
So y'all literally
sexuality,
just giving them
not
their
your gender.
their own plan.
No, we're
their
giving them the
own-
right to choose their sexuality instead of putting their sexuality on them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
because when you put them in the LGBTQ, you're putting a sexuality on them.
You're making them gay automatically.
And I feel like when it comes to heterosexuals, that's what they're making it easier for themselves. That's what I mean by
yes, Sean. Yes.
The term LGBT does not mean it's a preference. It's a group of people that all have the hardship. So that's why I just
let's look at it.
I think y'all just thinking about it from
trans women are their own separate thing, though. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's just
we need some trans to come on here. Do you guys want to be a part of the LGBT or not? Come on here. I know they watching. Okay, come on.
I think they should stay.
I'm just looking up the definition.
Unless y'all just gonna flat out call them women and men.
I think they are women,
but I don't.
They're still transgender.
I don't think that's up to us to define that. We're allowing the transgender to be the one that defines what they are.
We need to allow the transgenders to decide they want to. That's what somebody need to come up here. We need to allow them to.
No, it's not just up to them. It's up to us too, because we're part of the group as well. Just because they're beneath us or whatever on the scale or however they see it, doesn't mean we don't have an opinion. It's LGBT, and then we add the T.
How does being transgender naturally qualify a person to be gay or lesbian? It doesn't. That qualification came from people that saw a bunch of people that were different than what they're used to, and they said, okay, LGBTQ plus. That's why they added the plus, and they put us all in one box, and they said, okay, everybody that's not heterosexual, here you go. When we allow other people to define themselves within that box, I don't think it hurts them. I think it allows them to be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because not every transgender person is gay or lesbian or bisexual. Like, they should be able to choose, They
all have very valid points. So I definitely understand.
Who wants to read this? I really don't want to read this whole thing.
I'll just observe each other's thoughts, right?
I'll read it.
Hold on. Okay. Y'all can see it. That's all. I only be reading because I be feeling like y'all can't see it, but y'all have been having y'all read it. Let's see. I definitely don't feel like reading. Okay.
Let me see.
Right here.
What's that?
LGBTQIP. What does the alphabet soup mean? Why do we need all of these labels? Understanding how certain terms are used is essential to understanding how lesbians, gays, bisexuals, transgenders, intersex, and questioning LGBTIQ individuals define and see themselves in the world. One of the most important things to understand is that sexual orientation and gender identity/expression are related, but they are also separate and distinct. Use labels and definitions carefully and avoid assumptions. It is often better to ask people how they describe themselves and then use their preferred self definitions and pronouns, which is why I said let them choose themselves.
But that shit just confused the fuck out of me because it was like identity and expression are related, but yet they're separate and distinct. Like what the fuck?
Related, but they're separate and distinct.
But they're
separate and distinct.
Separate.
They're definitely separate and distinct, and definitely related, but they're separate and distinct. That's what it said. It is what it is. They're separate and distinct, but they're also related.
Because they made it related. They same thing too.
Because a young gay boy coming up, is feminine, then they transition to a woman. So it is kind of related, but it's separate and distinct because you're becoming a woman. It's not about your sexuality. It's about
But it's all about those experiences that makes them included into
the thing is when we have problems that are strictly for LGB issues, the T is not really part of that, and vice versa. Sometimes it's things where it's just about them and we get grouped in all together, and that's not necessary. Let LGB have their issues and let T have their issues because we have separate issues.
Because even when that Dave Chappelle shit happened, they were saying that LGBTQ, you can't fuck and piss off a gay. And it was like, well, that really wasn't a gay man's, that wasn't our issue. But then when a lot of gay men didn't have a problem with it, a lot of trans people were like, well, if you didn't have a problem with it as a gay man, stay out of it. It was a divide because I really wasn't offended by what Dave Chappelle said, but I know a lot of transgender people were.
Mm-hmm. And just going back to what heterosexual people think, a lot of times they do feel like we're all the same.
Come on.
So
hey,
okay, let's go, Eva.
Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
What's up?
Yes. Okay. First of all, Eva, do you identify as straight or gay?
My ID says straight and my vagina says woman.
Okay.
To me, to be considered a trans woman, you actually have to have that surgery and your ID.
Oh, okay.
I can't hear you.
She's shaking it up.
Kind of went out. Yeah, she shook the table.
Yeah. Hello. You've been giving me this all day, Eva. This phone. Okay, come back when you're ready.
Come on,
come back.
Come back.
Okay, so Eva is saying that she is a full
You
woman.
don't have this.
She doesn't have a penis.
That is a
and
flag.
her ID says straight. So she
So
is
maybe
a
she
full
doesn't
woman.
want to be. I feel like she was going.
So why would I want to be in the LGBTQ?
I feel like she did. I feel like she was going to say she doesn't want to be.
Like, why would I want to be grouped up in that?
But that's what I was going to say.
That's a whole
What a bunch of
she want her own.
about
But do they want their own sector, or do they just want to be like she said? Is woman. What's between my legs is woman. So you're a woman. So if you're gonna take them out of the group, call them what they are.
They are.
Well, they're still trans women.
They're trans women, though.
And I
They're
feel
still
like
trans women, but they're still women.
Trans
trans
women
women
go through different issues than regular women. And I feel like we would need to acknowledge that, because there is a struggle.
I don't think we should say regular women. I think we should say biological.
I
cisgender
could say cisgender. I mean, we can say that to be appropriate.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying in terms of that is that they go through their own struggle. You have to acknowledge that, regardless of what we want to call it, and whether you guys want to be technical or not, they go through their own struggle. And so we have to acknowledge that. So including them with women, cisgender women, that's not appropriate because you go through your own struggle. And I feel like we should acknowledge that the same way that we acknowledge our own struggles, as gay men.
To me, if you still have a penis, you are a man. Okay.
And that's crazy because that's what the LGBT movement said. And I don't necessarily agree with them, but they were bringing some points. The LGBT Alliance.
Now, there's a lot of women that would not, trans women that would not agree with this, but this is, T.S. Madison probably wouldn't agree with this. Hope Giselle wouldn't agree with this. Flame Moreau would agree with this.
You're not Flame Moreau.
Laverne Cox would not agree with this.
And this is why I think we should be separate from the T because
they have their own thing.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their own things to deal with.
And so if we jump into this conversation, I feel like we're talking about something that a lot of us aren't a part of. Like, that's why, going back to what y'all are saying, they should have their own group because, we can talk about this and we can add our 2 cents, but this is not a path that none of us have chosen. So we can't really speak on that because it's a different path.
And I think the women really have to get over this. You are cisgendered women. Get over it. Like, I just like
us women,
over
it.
You are cis.
Or you just gotta get over it.
It's
it's when we're trying to describe something, we use certain terms. In the real world, I'll call you a woman. Don't worry. But when we're on the internet talking to people, we got to use certain terms to describe things.
Yeah, now see that
I know. I'm just trying to get a man.
Fish.
They don't like that.
So I don't understand why people get so upset by cis. Because I'm a cis man.
We are cisgendered men,
right? We're cisgendered males or men.
Yeah, but they don't like that term cis because they always want to take away from the transgender. That comes from transphobia because they hate that a trans woman can be considered a woman. And so when you have to say, hey, they would prefer terms like Sean to say regular women, real women.
But cisgender and stuff, these terms are like relatively
don't
new.
Put that on me.
But they would prefer that kind of language because then it tears down the transgender.
I think that what it does, I feel like when it comes to a lot of women, people that describe themselves as women, cisgender women, whatever, I feel like when it comes to women that are trans and they see a trans woman that looks better than them, I feel like when it comes to that, that's when they say, oh, well, I'm a woman, because, that'll kind of disqualify that person as being more or less beautiful than them. I feel like it comes a lot from women that are insecure. I don't see a lot of women that are, full of themselves and like have that self-love about themselves that are really worried about what other women are doing, regardless of what type of woman you like to categorize them as.
Okay, who wants to read this?
It really be the jealousy.
Cisgender.
Okay.
Denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex. The newfound attention to the what is that at the
They're
bottom?
so dramatic.
The newfound attention to the plight of
comment.
Black trans folks by primarily cisgendered allies is timely and
I don't know what that
necessary. It's basically saying,
but yeah,
like,
it's what you identify, what you came out as, pretty much what corresponds with your birth sex. So you are a cisgendered woman.
yeah, that's what it is.
That's when we're describing things. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't know.
That?
It's science. It's scientific. That's what the doctors
Right.
point.
Like sometimes I say homosexual. Like what?
But see, and that's what, and I hate the word homosexual.
Really?
Oh, I hate homosexual because I've always
Mr.
heard that in the
Stinkhole.
church. Those homosexual men, those homosexuals, that homosexual lifestyle. This is not a lifestyle. This is my life.
Yeah.
It's,
Fucking
yeah,
stay in that
the
phrase.
homosexual lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
But you know, but guess what?
My
People get
parents.
to say, well, what do you want me to call you? You're a homosexual. It's in the dictionary. Well, you're cisgender. That's what it is. What, just like I'm a homosexual, I hate it because the connotation behind homosexual just feels like dick in the booty and HIV and sin and Sodom and Gomorrah and just all the things that I've always been taught that I was fucking bad for. It always came from those people. Even at church, when they read the homosexual spirit, you know,
that's really how they
that's
talk.
how it comes. The spirit of homosexuality and perversion.
It's really like that.
That's where they're coming. But they're okay with being able to say all of these things. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I'm just like, girl.
Definitely triggering.
I feel like with heterosexuals, they're used to being called women and men, and so because it's been that way for so long, there's a resistance to change something other than that. But we've been called a lot of things throughout our existence.
The reality of the situation is there's many types of women. Some women have penises, some women don't. Females don't have penises. Okay, males don't have vaginas. Some men do. Let that sink in. Okay, some men have vaginas, some women have penises. I don't understand why people don't get that. You can be a trans man, a trans woman. You cannot be a female or a male. It's one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it works. But you can definitely be a transgender and live in your complete transness. And I don't understand why people don't want to allow others to live in their true transgenderness. I think people feel as though because you're transgender, you automatically are trying to denote yourself as being a born female or male, when no, some people are very happy being trans.
That's true.
Yep.
I'm okay with being a trans woman. I'm still a woman. I'm just a trans woman.
Right.
I'm not a cisgendered woman. I'm a transgender woman, and I'm okay with that. You're uncomfortable with the fact that I'm okay with being a trans woman. That's the tea. And then, but for a long time, the word tranny, transgender, that has become such a tabloided word. See, tranny used to be okay back in the day. Oh, my girl, she's a tranny. Now tranny is like saying nigger or faggot. But that's because it's headline, it's clickbait. Transgender, tranny caught outing men, tranny this, tranny exposes. So now it's just like it's salacious. Now it's a tabloid. So now it's like transgenders don't want to be associated with that because it's like, oh, the tranny. It's just like tits and dicks. You know what I mean? And that's how it just has this very negative connotation. But I feel like being a transgender is sickening for you because that's everything. If you did your transition, why am I going to still call you a man? If you did what you needed to do and you look like a woman, you carry yourself as a woman, and you're a woman on the inside, outside, you feel that way, you're a transgender woman. Right. What's so hard about letting someone have that?
I feel like it's insulting. I feel like it's insulting all of the work that people that are trans have to put into themselves, all of the self-work, all of the actual physical representative work. Like there's a lot of work that goes into that, and it's a huge transformation. And I feel like the least that you can do is acknowledge them by what they would like to be and what they feel as opposed to telling somebody what they used to be. You know, I just find that to be very insulting.
Okay, now people are saying, why am I not letting biological women speak? And this and the third. We go through this. There's
Please.
400 people.
Because we can do that enough.
No, no, I've been dropping the link. No one's clicking it. So what I'm not going to sit here and do is suck your tits and eat your ass for you to come on here. Either you're going to come on here or you're not. You know, y'all know I don't have the patience for that bullshit. So you can definitely come on here. But anyway, but you know, but I just don't think that that's right. I just don't think that that's right. That because you don't agree with someone's status or their life, you don't think that they should be respected and spoke to as such. They have to be addressed as men.
A lot of people are saying on here having to do with women. Oh, well, we birth children. So if a woman, somebody that you guys would categorize as exactly. So if you would categorize somebody, would you still categorize them as a woman because they can't have children? Like, that's not the only qualification.
I will say there's differences between being a physical male and a physical female in general. As someone who embraces their feminine side fully and loves it, there's a difference between being a physical male and a physical female. It's just we're not the same. But where was I going with that? I don't know. But yeah, we're just not the same. So even if you do transition, there are things that are not the same about you. So a woman is still unique, even if she can't have babies. You know, she's or not, maybe not unique, but is still a woman, and there's something magical and special about that as well.
But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and downplay transgenders just to make cisgender women feel good about themselves. And I think that's what happens a lot. It's almost like you have to like degrade, you know, transgenders to lift up like me celebrating a beautiful trans sister does not take away from your cisgenderness.
Are you guys offended in any way by trans men?
No.
No.
I don't try.
Really what offends me the most, I'm gonna be real with you, it's really studs for me. Because I don't really get along with a lot, but sometimes because studs, I be feeling like they have to overdo it and act like men. And it's like, girl, and they be sometimes that's my personal thing. Let me not get into that. Sometimes the men, the studs they give so much, and I'd be like, girl, you're giving too much.
I mean, I don't
but that's my whole thing. That's a whole other thing. That's
I don't try to force anyone to call themselves anything, whether you're a trans man or whatever you want to call yourself. Like I don't force people to do anything like that. There's no threat here. There's no nothing.
Oh, like, child, this is my first gay child. I haven't talked to her in years, like from a long time ago. Girl, she was one of my first gay kids in the from bitch. What's going, bitch? I see you in bitch. And girl, what's the tea?
Hey, baby, what's good, bitch? Not me being your gay child, baby. I missed that memo. I thought we were speaking of baby.
Shut up. You remember that? Okay, come on, let's go.
Yes, but listen, okay, so back to the main point. Okay, so listen, we go way back. So you remember how the girls used to treat me, right? The girls would try to turn me trans because I looked so fish, but that wasn't really my identity. Bro. So, you know, you kind of have to battle with people's perceptions of you. And even to this day, bitch, I'm 33 years old, but I'm still, don't get it twisted, I'm still fish, baby. But I'm not, you know, trans or nothing like that. To me, it's just a look, it's an energy. It's not an identity, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of with Miles on that. But at the same time,
the Spears family in here too, baby. Sorry.
Hey, what's up?
When it comes to the whole separation of transgender, first of all, the whole title of the video, Armand, bitch, is fucked up because how you want to say are transgenders a part of the LGBT when the T stands for transgender? But I know that's just semantics. I'm not going to be that bitch. You know what I mean? But also, you know, I think the reason why even though being transgender is an identity and not a sexuality, because you can be transgender and you can be of any fucking sexuality, right? You know, a whole lot of transgender women in particular, you know, they end up transitioning and they like exclusively women. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, you just a straight man and you like women so much that you fetishize women and you want to be a woman, all type of shit, which does happen as well. But that's not typically the case, you know? So I think the reason why they're so related is because if we're being 100% real, a transgender woman, for instance, typically starts off as what is perceived as a gay boy or a gay man until they realize that they are not just an effeminate man. They actually feel like they're in the wrong body. And they have to go ahead and change their body in order to feel fulfilled or to feel like themselves, which is a separate issue from being gay. I don't care how feminine you are, you know, and same thing with you know, girls that feel masculine. You know, they might be a stud or they might be a butch lesbian or whatever, but you know, they get to a point where they're like, that's not enough. I need to be a man. You know, so they are totally separate issues, but they start off from the same roots, if that makes sense. So that's why they're related, and I think they're always going to be related.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's
that was
Uzi with misogyny. Sean basically said that women don't want to be called cis because women are jealous. Basically said it's an ugly girl problem. Typical gay man.
It's because women be jealous of other women.
Is that basically someone who
rated themselves as women comes up? It's like, damn, there's more competition.
Sean,
don't act like y'all ladies don't compete with each other. Another woman creates themselves. That's more competition.
I feel like it's a low blow. I feel like it's a low blow. I feel like whenever cisgender women describe themselves as real women, it is a low blow. It's a low blow. Like if somebody puts in all this work to be who they truly are, why would we not acknowledge that? It sounds like a threat. Why would you not acknowledge that? Whenever somebody wants to, you know, achieve themselves as a man, they want to acknowledge themselves as a man. I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh, well, you're not a man because you're not this, and that. You weren't born with this or that. Like, who am I to qualify them as a man? I don't understand that. So, no, I mean, I definitely disagree, but it is what it is.
Okay, let's bring up Hampton.
Spears.
Hi, Hampton.
I'm on. Hey, what's up?
Yes. Hey.
Hey, Hampton.
Can you?
Yes.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes. Spit it out, baby.
Okay, sorry. So I had a question. I was having some like technical issues, so I don't know what y'all were talking about before, but I had a question. Like, so I realized like a lot of trans women, they like don't go through that operation, like the gender reassignment surgery, so they still have their penises, but there's other ones that do go through the operation. So I don't know. Do you guys think that there should be a distinction between those two, or do you think they should be lumped in the same category?
I think that's their issue to deal with, but that's why we're trying to separate. You know, that's not. I really can't have an opinion on that.
Yeah,
no, but finish your point though, because you're going. I understand exactly what you're saying. No, finish your point, Miles, because that's their issue. That's between their
That's why we're trying to separate the T from the LGB. You know, we don't all have to go together.
Right, and I still feel like, I still feel like whether you have a penis or your vagina, if you identify as transgender, you are still. If you identify as a transgender woman, you are that.
Yes, as far as I'm concerned.
If you look like a woman and carry yourself as a woman, and you just haven't had to search, and you're still a transgender woman to me.
As far as I'm concerned, as an outsider, but if you want to get into the nuances within your T group. And y'all can
talk about that.
And I feel like that just makes things a lot easier, because if we brought everyone into the same umbrella and we as gay men start trying to tell transgenders and try to categorize them, it just doesn't seem right. That's like allowing heterosexual people to categorize us. Like, how are you going to categorize us? You know?
Yes, I think the only thing we're allowed to speak on is the divorce from the T.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Yoshida Cummings.
Hey, Sheeta.
Hello, how are you? Hi, Armand.
Hey.
How are you doing? I just want to say, in being a part of that community, being the B in the LGBT community, a lot of the focus is on the T in that, and we do feel that way. And some of us, like, you don't see too many people paying attention to the bisexual. You understand what I'm saying? And where is our room at? Where is, because we got the best of both worlds, or whatever you want to say, but nothing against, you know, the transgender, but I just think there's too much focus on that. And plus, what about trans men? There are women, like I live around a lot of them that are transitioning into men. I just think that the other letters need focus too. Like, I just like we left out in the cold, especially the B.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, and I am part of that. I'm part of that community that leaves the B out, and it's not on purpose. But I feel like I can be honest with that, because there's two things that happen when it comes to B. When you're a man, society looks at you as gay, no matter what. So they don't even consider you being bisexual when you're a man that says like, hey, I like girls and boys. If you tell a heterosexual woman, hey, you know what, I'm bisexual, I sucked a dick before. Even I tried it and I don't like it. I just want to see if I thought I may be gay. she's gonna label you as gay forever.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when it comes to women, though, I'm a little bit more leery with the bisexual because I feel like that can come as trendy. You know, it's like a fad. It's cool. It's pop culture. It's what we're doing now. It's the internet. It's fun. I kissed the girl and I liked it today, but I really got a baby daddy and 6 kids. But I'm a play by right now because I'm mad at my nigga. But bitch, I really want some dick at the end of the night. You know what I mean? So the bisexual of it all, when it comes to the women, I don't really take it all the way serious. Now that could be that could not be fair, but I'm just being honest. A lot of women, I feel like they play in that when they really don't be serious with it.
But I do love the bees.
That's how it really is, though. And the reason why it's usually like that is because, and it's funny you say that, because that is how most men think about it, gay or straight. And it's because, with the feminine energy and with a feminine body, it's almost like you're attuned to chaos. You're attuned to freedom. You know what I mean? And with men and masculinity, everything is very structured and very rigid. But at the same time, structured, rigid things are very fragile and easy to break. So if that ends up being broken into, and let's be honest, bitch, gay sex, if you're going the whole way, bitch, that's a whole other experience. You know what I mean? Like a bitch, you know what I mean? Like I get my cat eaten by my girlfriend sometimes, you know what I mean? She be eating the box. You know what I mean? That's one thing, but it's like a nigga, if you getting fucked in the ass, like that makes people think about you differently. Is it right? At the same time, why can't men have the same sexual freedom that women have? Why can't men have the same freedom to experiment and all that type of shit? So it's not necessarily fair, but at the same time, it is a different experience.
It should be right, and I agree, because it should be all categorized the same way. If you flip, you flop, no matter what.
But then too, society supports women on women and lesbian and bisexuality. They love that. Like that's what hip hop culture built on. Yeah, we love my bitches bi, and my girls like girls. Like
they love it because they're not threatened by it, because men cannot comprehend that a woman men cannot comprehend that any woman on this earth could possibly be satisfied without the presence of a penis.
And that's the truth. Yeah. You talking, bitch, because most men, even you can be the most butchest woman, a nigga will still say, "I fuck you and your bitch," because they feel like at the end of the day, you still gonna want some dick, and it's some power in the dick. So even if it's two women, at one point, one of them wants some dick, and that's when they said, when somebody was making a joke, actually it was my barber. He was like, these women be lesbian all day long, but then you fuck around and you see that one of the girlfriends is fucked around and got pregnant. She went and sat on some dick.
But you know what? I also have friends where they are females, they are AGs, and they deal with tranny women. They're women, they're butch women that deal with trans women. I have a lot of friends.
We were just talking about that. We were just talking. So, and that aspect, they're lesbians, but that's when they allow, they're not straight at that point. Because if you're a trans woman and you're dating a stud, well, are you straight? Oh, girl, I'm confused now. Because studs are still lesbians, so they're not trans men.
Exactly.
So then you would be. So that's still two women.
Still two women.
That's still two women.
I feel like if we separated the T, that would give more room for the Bees.
But I definitely feel what you're saying. I feel like we do put a lot of focus. You're totally correct. We do put a lot of focus on the T to where we don't have. It's like where's everybody else? I feel like it's always another trans issue, and it kind of overshadows the rest of us and the rest of the issues and the things that we have going on, So I definitely I understand that. I understand it.
At the end of the day, it comes down to the dick. Okay, let's be real. Because even if you were lesbian, what do? They have these phalluses that imitate penises that they fuck each other with, right? And even if they don't do it originally, they might scissor, they might eat out, they might do all that type of shit. Eventually, it comes down to the pegging type of thing, right? When it comes to gay men, gay men don't have any toys. We don't have any. We already have all the equipment and then some. So being a gay man is a bigger threat to women and a bigger threat to straight men than being a lesbian or being a bisexual woman is. It's a bigger threat because, again, you're always going to want or desire or need, in most cases, not every case, but in most cases, there's going to be some type of phallic desire that's present.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Regardless of what your sexuality is. If there's no phallus, for 90% of the people, bitch, something's missing.
Somebody says I peg for money, not love. I be taking all that money you baby mamas be giving your baby daddy and boyfriend. So she fucks men in the ass. Okay, and that's a thing too. I was at a bar and this woman and she, so that's the thing. A lot of men are into that. So and a lot of men are to butt play by the women. So I don't know. It's just a lot going on. But going back to the base of the conversation, I do think that the transgender should be separated. Now, if there's any transgender people on here that want to come on, speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. And if there's any other cisgendered women, heterosexual women that want to come on here and speak, do it. Please come now. I've just put the link in here. And so, yeah, child, because I'm not going to be here all day. But yeah, this was a loaded conversation. I'm glad that we had this conversation. And thank you, Nishita, coming in for the bisexual.
I love your show. I love your show. I watch you all the time.
Thank you, Boo. All right. Thank you, Shani. We're gonna keep Shani on here for a second. Okay, so did anybody else have anything else they wanted to add to this before I wrap up? I'm trying to see if anybody else want to come on. Click the link if y'all want to come on.
Don't be on here in the comments talking shit. Y'all need to come on here and talk your shit on the live, baby. If you looking mess like I do right now, you ain't got to turn the camera on. Just put on the mic. Shit.
Sean, you got quiet. They done got you quiet, Sean. They done got you scared now. Sean,
they come after Sean. I'm not quiet. I'm just waiting. Sean waiting for those comments.
All right, y'all. So, well, this was a great conversation. I don't know if someone is coming on here. We did see who's in the voice show wants to get pegged. You just so stupid.
I really want Eva to talk.
Eva,
the voice wants to get paid. Come on now,
girl.
Daisy, click the link, bitch. And Armand, real quick, bitch. While I got you on here, let me just say how I'm so fucking proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm so fucking proud of you because, bitch, you remember back in the day, baby. I remember you was like, bitch, I'm gonna go back to Cali. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna figure something out. I'm gonna do something entertainment, bitch. And you over here, you made your whole fucking community, bitch. You made your own fucking show, bitch. You tackling all the fucking issues.
Thank you.
I love you because, bitch, you remember.
Mutual TV.
Mutual TV. Mutual TV. Mutual TV. Hello.
Okay. Oh Lord. Okay, y'all.
What's up, y'all?
Hello. Okay. Hey.
Oh Lord.
Hello. Hi, Armand. I'm a big fan.
Hello.
Yes, I'm at work, so I called you. I'm in the bathroom.
Okay, talk to me, baby.
Okay, hey.
So I am so interested on that bisexual men because I am a straight woman and I'm also interested in bisexual men.
Oh, and you're a pretty girl too.
Thank you. And I don't know. I don't mind dating bisexual men. I'm very open with it. And if I'm dating a man, I always ask if they're interested in men. Because I love it. I love freedom of
sex that you like.
Right. So what about, do you love it? You like to do it together or just like the different interests?
I like it doing together. Oh, that's something that I would love to do with my husband. If it's bisexual, I wouldn't mind. I just love it.
Okay.
Millie, is that your profile picture? Are you the girl in the picture? So
yes, I am.
Thank you. Okay. I knew that was you. I can tell. The voice matches you.
Thank you.
Who else? Okay, let's see. Hello?
Thank you, Millie.
Jamia? Oh, hold on, girl. Jemiah? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, what's going on, baby? Okay, we lost you. Okay. Well, okay, so bisexual men, so
that's really interesting.
Yeah, I'd like tell us a little bit more. Does anybody have any questions on that? Like, what does that mean? Do you want them to be bisexual because do you having threesomes with them, or because if they're with you, they're not going to be with any men. So
she said she would love to be with her husband. So
okay.
I would love it to be with my husband because I dated a guy. He was bisexual, but he was DL. I had no idea if he was. So I had to. This is how he come out to me. I had to tell him that, hey, my ex-boyfriend was bisexual, and I was okay with it. I started talking to him, so he could feel comfortable. And I think 3 months later, he said, "Hey, babe, I like men too." And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
What? So
I love that.
I wish
So
there was
he
a lot
was-
more open women.
So he was so happy that so he told me I was the first woman that he opened up to. Even his own family don't even know that he's into men. And I asked him, "Are you into straight, like men? You don't like women and stuff?" He said, "Yeah, I love you. I'm in love with you, but
Now,
I just like the idea."
Now, would
that
you allow
open
your
up.
man to get fucked by another man, or like, or is it?
What if he's a bottom?
Would you
Would
let him
you
not be,
want him to fuck both of them, both of y'all?
or does he have to be a top
Oh,
or
well-
bottom or versatile?
It could be both. Like he could have sex with men, and I could watch him, and I could be on top of him.
Wow.
And while he's getting his ass, like I could, I don't mind.
I love
that. I like that. I like you, Millie. I like you, Millie.
Wow.
We all gotta eat. We all gotta
That's
eat.
right. That's right.
Okay.
Listen, and I get it. There's a sense of freedom too. Like if you with your man, whatever, and you can be like, "Oh my God, isn't he fine as hell?" And your man can be like, "Yeah, he is." And like, even if like y'all not trying to have a threesome with that particular person, there's a sense of like camaraderie and a sense of freedom to just be able to just talk that free, which kind of makes you closer. If you can be
he actually made us closer. Like he doesn't lie about anything. I know who he would. Like if you're talking to someone, I know about it, and if I don't want that person, he will be like, "Okay, I don't want him." So he just like open up to me, and I love
let's
it.
talk about the elephant in the room, though. We got to talk about it. The big elephant in the room is the testing conversation. STDs and things of that. Does that, because the big stigma around bisexual and gay men is that they're carriers of HIV and AIDS and STDs. Does that frighten you as a straight cisgender woman that dealing with a man that perhaps is bisexual could be susceptible to HIV and different things like that, or it puts you at risk to those things? And how do you combat those conversations?
Well, we have those conversations as well. We get tested. I know I know what he done, and I know his tests are negative, and I get tested too. So I don't really put it in my mind like he's having sex with other men, So I know that he's just attracted to men. So I cannot stop him from being attracted to other men. So I would rather him being open up to me instead of go behind my back and have sex with other men. Because the reason why I feel so comfortable, like he's not having sex with other men behind my back, because he knows that I am not insecure that he's gonna have sex with other men.
Right.
Yeah. So that's not something that he's going to do without letting me know.
Last question: are you into transgenders?
It's so crazy that I'm not into transgender.
Okay.
But if it's something that he tried, I wouldn't mind. But at the same time, I'm not into transgender. I'm actually into masculine men who are bisexual.
Okay.
What about a trans man? What about a trans man?
No, I'm not
like
into that. But I'm into masculine men who are masculine, who just like bisexual.
She already knows.
You
are bisexual.
Yeah, I don't look at him as feminine. I'm not gonna look at him. Oh, he's just feminine. He's like he likes men. No, I don't look at him like that. I look at him like he's just the most masculine man. Like he just loves what he loves, and I appreciate him for who he is.
Thank you, Millie. Okay, Eva, give it to us. Give it to us, Eva. Hello. Hello.
Okay, can you hear me or not?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I had to walk down. I had to walk down the street because I was in the, I'm filming for something, not for myself, but for something else. And well, I just look at it as if you do not have the surgery, down there, a lot of people are gonna be upset. But to me, as a trans, I don't even like saying woman, because at the end of the day, to me, I'm trans. Like, it took a lot of money to look like this and to get this. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of cisgender women on here think it's like, oh, you're taking it's hard to be a woman, you're taking something from us. Nobody's taking anything from you. At the end of the day, no one can identify you the way you can identify you. You know what I mean? As far as being part of the LGBT community, I still feel like we should be a part of the LGBT community, because at the end of the day, when situations like this happen, we're all still labeled as something. You see what I'm saying? We're still, oh, you're a man, you're a fag. I don't know if I can say that, but you're still this, you're still that. So when it comes to me, I just consider myself LGBT and trans, but to society, I am a woman because my ID says that, and my social security says that, and my birth certificate says that. So to me, you have to take those steps to identify. You know what I mean?
Like legal.
So do you, Eva?
Right.
You still
Because
like you
imagine you can't go to a club and show your ID and it says male, and you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Eva. So do you think that since you still think that you should be included inside the LGBT community or category?
Hold on. What did you say?
Do you still think that you should be included into the LGBT?
Do I think I should be in my own category?
Yeah. Do you think you should have your own, or do you think?
I mean, we still have the same fights.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay.
Do I think I should be in my own category?
You said something very interesting. You said if you're still a man if you have a penis. So you said if you don't have the sexual reassignment surgery, that you're not a man, you're not a woman. Do you believe that? Really believe that's true?
To legally get that changed on your birth certificate, you have to have that surgery. You see what I'm saying?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Well, I did. I got mine approved instantly as soon as I presented that I had a badge. You know, that I had the surgery.
Oh wow!
If you have the process,
but I'm not an activist. I don't do all that.
You don't have to have the surgery to be a female on your birth certificate or your license. You don't have to have the surgery. I had the surgery and I still have my male parts. But to answer the question about should trans women be included into the LGBT community, I feel like it's a silly question.
Hold on, because there's too many people talking. It's an echo. Hold on.
Someone. Is it Millie?
Echoing.
No TV on.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, Tori.
No, it wasn't you, Millie.
Oh, okay. Well, I was saying that I feel like it's a silly question to even ask. Should the trans be included into the LGBT community? One, because a trans woman started the LGBT rights movement, for one, and two, we experience the same hardships. That's why we're in the community, because we are excommunicated from the heterosexual community. So to me, I feel like that's a really silly question to even ask. Should we be included in the community? Because we're all in there for a reason. Because we're not like the heterosexual community.
Very true. I agree.
Who wants to take this?
I agree, Tori. That's exactly what I've been saying. We went through the same hardships.
We don't experience the same hardships though, because
we have
do certain things. You guys are literally transforming.
No.
That's a whole different thing.
You don't know.
Just like Sean.
But you don't. I'm a passable trans woman, and you don't know. I mean, just because it's not the same hardship doesn't mean that I don't go through hardship.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, I feel like there's a lot of trans women that don't identify as gay. So LGBTQ for me is more of a what have we been saying?
It's not a sexual preference.
It's the orientation, but transgender is like that is your gender. So for me, I feel like transgender, like to align them and call them gay, to me is a disservice to transgender.
It's just a community of people who went through a lot of hardships.
But that's put them into a label to make straight people comfortable with who they are. When transgender people, we don't get to decide if they're gay or straight. We don't get to decide that for them.
In this group though, because they are not.
They're in a group full of homosexual and bisexual people.
But a lot of trans women are attracted to
Either some are attracted to women, some are attracted to gay men, some are
that's
attracted to straight
fine.
men. Like,
I know a lot
But
of
a
trans
gender
women
is
though.
something separate from your sexuality, right?
The importance of that is allowing people to identify themselves, not just allowing, like, pre-categorizing them before they get to make the same decision that you got to make. So for you, maybe it's cool, but for other people, like, they have other identifications. They need to be able to identify themselves to align with bisexual, to align with gay, to align with lesbian, instead of just dropping them in there because they're not, like, connected to heterosexuality. Like, that's the point.
Yeah, I don't think that that's fair to do that to a transgender person, to just tell them you're gay. No, it's like, let me decide.
Forget the fairness.
Who
for
says
them.
that
It's not fair to me because your issues are separate
LGBTQ+
from
does not
mine.
mean gay.
Right.
LGBTQ+ does not mean gay.
That's what we know that, but
that's what y'all are saying.
Trans women have a lot of especiallys. It's very much like especially them, especially this. Like, so especially just go in this section over here, and you guys can have
what section? What section are we going to? We don't have our own section.
You would be in your own
transgender. Sorry, not trans.
It's like y'all just kicking them outside to the.
It's not kicking them outside. It's elevating them and giving them, because they're gonna have their own issues. Gender is a whole different thing than your sexuality.
It's not about the sexuality though. It's about the things, the harsh, the thing. We all relate in some way. And that's
but when we're talking to like political figureheads and we have to describe things and things like that, we don't need to combine the whole community when we're trying to get political things through.
Right.
Because trans is something separate. If we're talking in a political sense, trans is something separate. Yeah, it's nice to have, we're all a community and we're still going to embrace each other, but the issues need to be paid attention to, especially on their own.
I agree, but I also disagree, because to act like being LG or B has nothing to do with gender identity is also disingenuous. Because how many times have you gotten with a nigga, and as soon as you get this nigga in the bed, this nigga, he want to wear pantyhose and garter belts and all these types of things, and sometimes they want to wear wigs and they want to be treated like a little bitch.
Yeah, but they're not going out and changing their identification.
Well, no, they're doing it in
real world.
That's a fetish
in the bedroom, correct? But there is still gender play that's there.
Yeah, that's
transgenderism is
not real trans.
But even saying
they're
that
still
it's
related.
gender play,
there's elements of all of it.
Even saying that it's gender play is attaching yourself to what traditional society would say is gender play. What is male? What is female? What you're saying is attributing to what we've known for hundreds of years, which is wearing panties is female, wearing boxers is male. That's what you're speaking off of. You're giving that. That's the energy you're giving.
Well, yeah, which is also a fucking social construct, because at the end of the day, it's all just fucking fabric.
Okay, so
but
at the same time, though, is that something that you're willing to uphold? Are you willing to uphold that same social construct that puts all of the LGBTQ plus people in a fucking box? That's what I'm saying.
In a way,
I don't look at it. I don't look at it as putting us all in a box, as much as I look at it as we all have similar experiences and we kind of branch off as we get older, and we're supporting each other as one community. That's how I look at it.
Thank you.
But even with that, we shouldn't need to be in the same box to still support each other. I would still support somebody that was transgender just because they're not listed underneath everybody else that's not heterosexual. So it's allowing you guys to be able to be highlighted on your own stance, because your issues are very different than people that are gay or lesbian or otherwise.
Yes.
Oh,
they become different.
The only real issue that they lived in or really fighting was having same-sex marriage. And now that has been passed, what other issue are you fighting that you feel like is on a political stance that trans women did?
I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I get it too.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I just have a quick
Jenna.
question to ask.
Sorry, Tony.
Hey. So, like, I think what's happening is the trans conversation is starting. I think for a lot of people are kind of starting to get tired of it, because it seems like there's nothing that straight people can do that doesn't make trans people feel offended. And there's also nothing gay people can do that doesn't make trans people feel offended. And when the idea gets pitched, why don't you start your own thing instead of demanding something from everybody else? It's not inclusive. So I'm just trying to figure out. So we now know from like the whole Dave Chappelle thing for the past few years. We all know what everybody else needs to be doing to make the trans community feel more included and a part of everything. What do you intend to do for you so that you have your own thing, so that if you're not getting the response that you want, you have something to fall back on? What are you doing for you?
Well, we're all doing for us every single day. You know, sometimes.
No. I don't mean as an individual. You are asking the collective society to restructure itself to accommodate you in certain ways, sometimes to the detriment of other people.
Okay,
so, like,
and what ways do you feel like?
in
what ways do you feel like it's at your detriment, Jenna?
So, for example, I went on a date with a guy, and he told me halfway through the date that he was trans, which I was surprised by that, because like I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that, and he's gone through the hormone process, and he looks completely male. But I like someone with male genitalia. And then when I said, oh, okay, well, you know what, that's really, really cool, and you're really, really cool. However, that's not my preference. He got offended. And the conversation almost started to feel like I was transphobic because I don't want to be with someone who has the same genitalia as me. And then he tried to imply that I was kind of fixated on genitalia and that I need to see beyond that. It had the very same energy for the ladies in the chat of, have you ever gone to the club and somebody tries to holler at you, try to get your phone number, and then you say
it's very Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, it's just like, it was so, it seems like everybody has to, it's getting to the point where I'm starting to wonder if maybe there's a conversation that the trans community needs to have about you guys potentially shooting yourself in your own foot. Because eventually, if everyone's transphobic for not wanting to include you, and everyone's transphobic for not wanting to give you, and if everyone's transphobic for not wanting to set up institutions that are geared towards you, if everyone is transphobic for laughing at jokes that make fun of you, meanwhile people make jokes that make fun of everybody, at what point are you going to say, you know, maybe we should start doing our own thing and not demand something from everybody else? Because if everybody's transphobic, why are you asking us for anything?
I mean, I think the only thing that we're really demanding is respect.
I'm sorry?
I think the only thing we're really demanding is respect. I mean, for your personal situation about that date, I don't agree with how he responded, but as far as respect, I think that's pretty universal about what trans people in general would like from everyone. It's just respect.
Yeah, I think she just wants the same thing that you get, Jenna. She wants the same treatment that you get when you walk into a building, or
arguably,
when.
But let me add to this, please. Let me, because I feel like what we're saying over here, at least Sean and Miles and I are, we're trying to give that by saying, you guys, the trans community should have their own platform, their own space, so that they can be highlighted and respected as such. Not to alienate them, to say that we don't support them, but they should be supported in this way, to where they're not being told you're gay, you're straight, you're trans, and you get to choose.
They're gonna get told that anyway. What do you mean?
I think that if you already know the hardships of trans people, to put them in their own category when we already don't have a lot of help would make it even harder for us to progress forward.
But see, this is
you
where.
Say that, but a lot of.
But to Jenna's point, this is where it becomes, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because on her end, she's like, what are you going to do for yourself? On our end, we're like, let's highlight you. But neither one of those are good options.
Listen,
there are definitely trans women out there who are fighting the fight, that are leading marches, that are having the conversations like this to try to move and progress things forward. But if everyone in the community or the trans community isn't on that same wave shift, or we don't hear it being talked about, then that makes people think that we're not doing anything for ourselves. But there are definitely women like Angela from Pose. She's one of those women who speaks up for trans women, speaks up for trans rights, and everything trans. There's women like Hope Giselle. Like, there are trans women out there who are fighting the fight for us, but we don't have anyone public or a big name that is out there doing the work that we need to be done.
I think you're okay. So what I'm saying is, I'm not talking about activism, because we are all being inundated with activism, and everybody's getting tired of activism. Somebody coming in your face and telling you what you need to do. What I'm saying is, if trans women feel like they're being discriminated in employment, where are the marketing agencies? Where are the businesses that are started, run, owned, and operated by trans women, that employ trans women, that create cul-de-sacs for trans women?
Jenna, where are they going to get these resources?
I'm sorry?
Where are they going to get all of these resources? It sounds very great. It sounds good.
This is
It
the
does sound
other
great.
problem. This is the other problem, because it becomes, again, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If everyone is transphobic and everybody is a phobic and obic and ist and ism because they're not willing to kind of side with you or see things the way that you see it, then you kind of run into the issue of, who are you to come and demand anything or ask anybody to give you resources to help fund you? It becomes, you see what I mean? Like, it's I personally feel like with trans women are, in my opinion, making a bit of a mistake, in the sense that if your whole thing is that you want to be included, the way that you become included in any society is through participation, not through yelling at people or through activism. One of the things that humanizes people is humor. So when you
but we can't sit up here and act like there's not transphobia out here.
No,
I can't sit here and do that.
Nobody's saying there's no transphobia.
Coming from a certain space,
This fantastical world that we're gonna live in, where there's no racism, no homophobia, no none of that, is ridiculous. And also, the world is moving in a completely different direction. So and the reason this is such an important conversation is because, quite frankly, the conversation, or being able to even discuss who you are as a person and how you feel as a person, this is a new concept for Black people as a whole, because we've been so used to just soldiering through and denying our sense of humanity within our own family. So now we're having these conversations, but there's no structure to them. If you want to be taken seriously, you have to be an individual. You have to function as an independent unit. And what I have personally seen is, it's gotten to the point where, if you have an opinion about transgenderism, you're not allowed to voice it. If you have any opinion about, the fact that, like, the trans community seems to be very, very keen on telling everybody else what they're supposed to be doing. I've experienced trans women telling gay men that if they don't want to date a trans man, that they're transphobic. Who are you to tell other people? Like, it's getting to that point where people are starting to lose empathy for you, because it's always, I'm the victim, I'm at the mercy of everybody else, everyone is always out to get me. And I'm like, well, what are you doing to protect yourself? Because I'm still a Black woman. I have my own battle to fight. So for me to stop fighting for myself to fight for you, I don't have time to do that. What are you doing for you? And why do I have to be involved?
Okay, Jenna, you're not wrong. And I was about to ask you if you're Black, so I can make a parallel. Right? You just said that you are. So okay, so us as Black people, right? Look at how we have the Hotep niggas. Don't none of us like them motherfuckers, right? But they're a part of the situation. them raggedy niggas. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have the extremes. And when it comes to people who are oppressed, and us as Black people in America, especially in the Americas in general, the entire diaspora, to be honest, we understand what it's like to be oppressed on every fucking level, right? So you have the extremes, you have the anger, and Black people, we have a right to be angry. We absolutely do. And so you have that extreme, but then you also have Black people that learn how to work within the system and learn how to make the system work for them and all that type of shit. You also have the same thing within the LGBTQ community, right? You also have the extremists, and unfortunately, the loudest wheels are the ones that get the grease. Right. So I get what you're saying, and I agree, but it's not the whole story, But unfortunately, it is the voice that is the loudest, and the voice that's loudest is always going to be the extremist.
I mean, but even
hold on. We got some more people on here. Let's let Yanni, Ryan, and Sophia, who want to jump in, or no, Cozy Kid says something. Cozy.
Hi, yeah. Okay, so I just had a quick question. So I know you guys were talking about transgenders should have their own separate community or their own separate group. I just wanted to know, because non-binaries are also part of the LGBTQ community, and I wanted to know, would you consider them needing to have their own group as well? Because they go through their own stuff as well. So I was just curious. I'm not non-binary, by the way. I'm a cisgender, and I'm lesbian. So,
in my opinion, I put them in the trans category, but then the trans category would probably want to give them their own category because they don't like non-binary people because they want to fit into the binary, which is interesting.
I was just curious because I was
Good
like,
question, though.
they still go through their own separate things as well. And I mean, it's that theirs has to do with, you know,
But
gender
yeah,
as well, not
to
necessarily
answer
sexuality.
your question, if the transgenders were to get their own, the hell, they should too.
Non-binary to me is a way of thinking, like, but I guess
I feel
people
like
express
I
it in
feel like it's
gender.
a
I don't
way
know.
of thinking as opposed to like transgender. But I do feel like if we're gonna separate categories, we should give everybody their own kind of category.
Right.
I feel
Just
like the whole
Agreed.
non-binary thing is complete bullshit. I'm gonna just say it. I feel like it's bullshit.
Facts.
But you know what? At the same time, that's very disrespectful
Here's the
for
thing.
people that are non-binary. You know,
No.
and I feel like when it comes to transgender, the point of separating is to highlight the issues that they have. Because I would hate for, like, if we were to look at it from the outside looking in, I would hate for someone that is trans to make a really big mark in society and then it be absorbed by the LGBT community. You know, just because they're a part of that community.
Can
And
I
I feel
ask?
like.
Sorry, sorry, Sean. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, and let's get through everybody because we're Sophie.
Can I say something?
Yes.
As transgender being pansexual, I kind of feel like transgender really isn't. I feel like everything else in LGBTQ is your sexual relationship, and it isn't really and transgender really isn't a sexual relationship. It's more of how you come out as yourself. So I kind of agree that transgender shouldn't be a part of LGBTQ.
And are you transgender?
Yes, I'm transgender. My old name is Owen Young, and yeah.
Okay, so good. So you can help us facilitate this conversation with Jenna. Okay, Yanni. Hello.
Yes, hi guys.
Hi.
I feel as though the trans community should be separate from the LGBT because this issue is very serious to me. You have a lot of young gay and lesbian youth who actually are more likely to suffer from gender dysphoria than straight kids, and they are being put on medical pathways which are sterilizing them, and then they are regretting it and detransitioning. Now, I don't find it comfortable that, yes, especially as a bi woman, I'm not happy about the fact that we are living in a society now where it's okay to sterilize gay and lesbian children, and if they regret it, then it's like, oh well, you did to yourself, you're an adult now. That is, I mean, at the end of the day, there are studies done on this that most kids who identify as trans are gay or lesbian. Now, take, for example, if you have a feminine boy and he likes to play, just say you have a feminine gay boy and he likes to play with like his sister's toys, and it's just left alone, everyone just accepts it, he's allowed to be himself, he's more likely to just grow up to be a happy, healthy gay man. But say, for example, he has like, homophobic parents and they throw out his toys and say, no, those are girls' toys, those are not for you. He's more likely to develop gender dysphoria. And at the end of the day, it's like we are forgetting that when we don't live in a society that has gotten rid of homophobia yet, and we need to examine that before we just let these children transition. Because if you think back to your childhood, if you're same-sex attracted, there probably was a point in time where you did want it to be the opposite sex, or you felt more comfortable, or you felt as though your behaviors and mannerisms would be more acceptable if you were the opposite sex. And it's not a joke, because when you put a child on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, you sterilize them. And the reason why I'm using the word sterile is because when someone becomes infertile, you can actually still have a child technically if you address your fertility issues. If you sterilize a child, that's it, they permanently will never ever have a child. Not only that, the health problems, the loss in bone density, the fact that if you put a child on puberty blockers, not only are you pausing their puberty, their brain development, and the fact that you actually cannot pause puberty. There's a natural window in your biology for puberty, and if you miss it, you cannot just resume your puberty. Yeah, that's just some of what I have to say. But for the sake of gay and lesbian children, it's so important to separate the T.
Yeah.
Again, they're also doing these conversion therapy bills, right? And they basically say that if you question a trans child on why they think they're the opposite sex, then you're engaging in conversion therapy. So they basically have legally mandated this thing called the affirmative model. So say, for example, you have a young girl and she comes in and she thinks she's a boy. You're not allowed to ask her, why do you think you're a boy? You just have to affirm. So say, for example, she's a young girl and she was N-worded by her uncle, but her brother wasn't. And so she associates being, sexually, assaulted with her female body. You as a therapist are not allowed to examine why she is disassociated from her body. And those conversion therapy bills that they are saying, you can't question why a child is trans, that is conversion therapy for gay and lesbian children, because a lot of the time they are just turning into fake straight kids, and a lot of parents actually do not like having gay children, and they would rather have a fake straight child and pretend that their child had a medical issue than accept their feminine gay son or their masculine lesbian daughter. But yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yanni, real quick, have you heard about the LGB Alliance? That's where it is in the UK.
Yes, I support them.
That's exactly everything they said. Literally, not literally, but
like
yes.
she's absolutely right. There's an element of transgenderism that is homophobic. Like there's actual you can't even have that conversation. We can't have conversations about any of this stuff. Like I have encountered transgender women who have flat out told me after having conversations about why they wanted to transition. And I went into it expecting to hear, I've always felt like I was a woman. And even that statement is kind of sexist. What does a woman feel like? Right. So when I asked the question, the trans woman that I spoke to, and I've gotten this response multiple times in various forms, is being a man was too hard.
Okay.
I didn't understand. I didn't have a father. I didn't feel supported. I was molested. There's other things going on, but we're not allowed to have any of these conversations. But there's all these demands of everybody.
Right, but that can also be countered by, well, I never felt like a man in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too. But we have to have a conversation about that.
Okay. So listen, we're at the 2-hour mark. Hold on. We're gonna pencil this in. Okay, ask that, and then we're gonna go. What is a woman?
Can I ask what is a woman?
Yeah, Sophie. What is a woman?
What was that?
Yes, Sophie.
What is a woman, Sophie?
That's a hard question. It depends on how you look at it. A woman is a sex, I guess. That's a hard question.
Well, that's a female, right?
I thought that there was an adult. I'm sorry. I thought there was an adult trans person.
When it comes to being a woman,
Y'all
for some people,
I don't know what's
like
going
myself,
on.
being a woman isn't just whether or not you can have a baby. Being a woman is more ancient than that. Being a woman is birthright. I'm entitled to be a woman because I was born into this particular body. I was born with this particular designation. However stars align, however DNA align, this is what I was born with.
But transgenders can be women.
But we say we respect the physical woman too.
But why is it that and also the other thing you guys have to also consider for women,
That echo.
It's a heavy echo.
Yes, that echo is horrible.
I can't deal with it.
Okay. I don't hear it. I don't know if it's me. Yeah, hold on.
Is it better?
Hold
now
on.
it's better. Yeah.
Let's remove everybody from up here. Is it still echoing?
No,
I don't hear an echo.
Okay, this is what we have to do. The echo means it's time to go. Because we're on here for 2 hours, but we're gonna have to. This was a fantastic conversation. I would like more trans people. I would like the same people that came on here, Yanni, Jen, next week. But we gotta put it because we can be in here for 2 more hours, and so let's put a pin in this, and we will continue this next week. People send a conversation into soon. Child, this has been 2 hours of conversation.
2 hours, baby, and I gotta get to my little dinner.
Yeah, I know. I can see y'all. I can see it on everybody's face. They like, oh, child, because this could go.
There's more and more people coming in by the second.
Yeah, they are. So, but listen, I love the conversation. Thank you guys all for coming in here. This has been a phenomenal show. We never know what's going to happen here on the Boys Chat. Now, we only have 2 episodes left. So make sure you get in here and be here for the next 2 episodes, okay? Because we're going to probably pick up where we left off next week. All right? So you guys know where you guys can find me at the Armand Wiggins Show, all of your social medias, okay? And be in tune this week because we're getting into some things this week. All right, so yeah, I'll pass it over to this way.
Yeah, y'all can follow me on all social medias right here at July.
Shout out to all the guests that came on here too.
Sure.
Yes. All right. You guys can check me out on Instagram. I am _Sean Christopher. You guys can also check me out on Color Block because I write for the magazine. We have Taste of Cuisine coming out next month, December. So y'all go ahead and check that out. And y'all can also check me out on Mindfulness Monday on the same Instagram. I am _Sean Christopher.
That's right. Oh, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
You just talking.
Really going
the echo. You know, I was trying to discover the echo. Me, Miles Spears. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Miles_Spears. And you can also follow me on YouTube at Miles Spears ASMR. And you can also subscribe to my OnlyFans, Miles_Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and this has been another fantastic episode of Voice Chat. See you niggas soon. Peace out.